Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey everybody, happy July. Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 217. I'm Phil Graham. I'm excited to be here with you guys today because I'm going to be sharing 3 secret sauce hacks that we use to run profitable Facebook ads. Now, most people are not using these hacks at all, or if they're trying to use them, they're doing them in an incorrect way. And not really using or leveraging these hacks can make a huge difference. It can mean the difference between failure and success for many of you guys. Like, these are really important. So I'm excited to be covering those with you in today's episode. Now, with that being said, I can't believe it's already July. That's just crazy. I love this time of year. I hope you guys are doing really well. I've got my bubbly water right here, chilling, kicking back, recording this podcast for y'all. And I'm excited to be here, my friends. If you guys want to get in touch, maybe you're looking for some one-on-one coaching. Maybe you want somebody to run your ads for you who you can trust, who is professional. Or maybe you got some ideas for what you want me to cover on this podcast. Maybe you haven't talked about a topic you've wanted to hear about in the last 4 years, or haven't talked about it recently, and you want to just give me some ideas for any of those things. You can go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com. If you're a potential client, we can schedule a Zoom call and see if you're the right fit and connect. Or you can go to Instagram and just send me a DM at philgrahamdigital. Don't be shy. I love to hear from you guys. Let's connect, my friends. With that being said, I want to jump right into the content and just keep these episodes short, sweet, and very actionable so that you guys can really use this information and put it into action for your business. Okay, 3 secret sauce hacks we use to run profitable Facebook ads. Now, like I said at the beginning, most people are either not using these hacks at all, or if they are, they're using them wrong, or they're using them inconsistently, or a combination of all of those things. And when you use these 3 things and you do them right, and you do them at a high level of skill, amazing things can happen. They certainly have for me and for us. So I highly recommend you guys do these. So let's jump right into it. Secret sauce hack number 1, and this is not all of our secret sauce. We've got a lot of different things, but these 3 things are a huge part of our fundamentals. So secret sauce number 1 is to use a dashboard for your ads, your marketing, and your business. This is so important. I learned this from a very rich friend of mine who's got like 10 different businesses. He's got a dashboard, which is like a Google Sheet, for each one of his individual 10 businesses. And then he's got another dashboard that rolls all 10 into one. And he can see everything he needs to know about what's going on with that business on the dashboard. And then he can see all 10 on the one that rolls up into one. And that's extremely valuable. That plays right into how I run ads and how I run marketing for clients. Part of my secret sauce is no guessing, no hope, but using data and making smart decisions based off of actually looking at data and getting really good at that. And so the dashboard allows us to do that perfectly. The few mistakes people make with data, number 1, they think if they just look at numbers, they're really using data. And that's not true. You have to become skilled. Looking at numbers is like playing basketball. It doesn't mean you're as good as LeBron James just because you know how to shoot a ball. So you have to get really good at looking at data and making decisions based off of data. The other big mistake people make with data is they just kind of typically look at the data in Facebook Ads Manager. That's way too limiting. It doesn't give you everything you need in one place, and it's just not ideal. So we create these dashboards that give us everything that's important to us on one spreadsheet. But not only that, we can see over time, over weeks, months, or even years. And guess what? That gives me an unfair advantage because I can quickly and easily spot trends that most people would never even be able to see because of how they're doing it. And when I use these dashboards, it just makes all the difference in the world. And when we work with clients, we customize dashboards specifically to whatever we're doing for them. And so we can track whatever we want to track, cost per lead, cost per acquisition, cost per click, CPM, click-through rate, how many clicks we're getting, how many people are on a webinar, what percent of people are opening emails, anything and everything that is important to us. Also, obviously, revenue, return on ad spend, all that stuff. So we customize that for each client. And then we look not only at like the current data, but compare that over previous weeks and months or years. And that gives us a huge edge when we're using data to make decisions versus somebody that just goes into Facebook and kind of looks at a few things and then decides what to do from there. So I highly recommend you guys start using like a Google Sheet, put the most important information in there and check that out. What I think I'm going to do on a future episode is I'm going to actually give you guys a version of the dashboard that we use, and I'll give it to you absolutely free. What I have to do though is create a more standardized version that's not specific to a client that I think is going to work best for like the average person out there. And I also need to show you how to use it because it's a dual purpose thing. You need not only the dashboard, but you need to get good at, using it properly. And I'll do that for free. So I will, in the next couple of weeks, I need to figure out how best to do this. It's a visual thing. So maybe I'll do some kind of a live event of some kind, or maybe I'll do a video and then give you guys access to the video and the file. Maybe it'll be part of a podcast episode. Let me figure out how to actually, bring this about. But I will absolutely give you guys a dashboard and show you exactly how to use it. If you're interested in that, just make sure and DM me on Instagram at Phil Graham Digital, and I'll make sure and let you know when that happens. But give me a few weeks to get that ready to go. So that's secret sauce number one. Use and leverage a dashboard so you're not relying on guessing, hope, or chance. You're actually using data to make better decisions and identifying trends much quicker than anybody else ever could or would. Number two, another part of our secret sauce is diversification, diversifying what we're doing. This is very similar, just like stocks or crypto or investing. You wouldn't invest all your money into one stock or one cryptocurrency, although I guess some people would, but it's very, very dangerous, right? High risk, but very high reward, but you can also lose everything. So you got to be careful. Most smart investors are not going to put their money into one stock. They're going to diversify not only into different stocks, but different sectors. Or even if you're into crypto, you're probably not going to put it all into Bitcoin. You're going to kind of spread it out a little bit. And that's the smart thing to do for most people. It's very similar when it comes to running ads. So one way that we diversify is we run additional ad platforms. So we run ads for clients on not just Facebook and Instagram, but Google, YouTube, Pinterest. You could do LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, and all these other options, anywhere where you can pay to get attention. And there's some very good platforms out there. Now, Facebook and Instagram are very strong. They're still my favorite by far because of the strong targeting. Although I like Google and YouTube quite a bit, and I like Pinterest and a few others quite a bit as well. But for a lot of clients and for many of you, you're probably going to want to put 80 to 90+% of your ad budget into Facebook and Instagram. And then use maybe 5, 10, 15% and dip your toes in the water on one of these other platforms. That's one way you can kind of diversify what you're doing, and that will help you. Another way you can diversify is to actually diversify the ad objectives that you're using on Facebook and Instagram. So if you find yourself always doing, let's say, conversions, for example, then run an ad test where you're doing traffic or you're testing video views or messenger ads or lead ads. And don't just run a quick test, let it run for a little bit. Don't let it run for 2 days and say it doesn't work. Give it some room to work and then look at the data And diversifying ad objectives can do really well. We've had situations where we've had bad ads in one objective do really well with a different objective, or we've had a good ad do 10 times better in a different objective. You just never know. And then sometimes they don't do as good, and then we know. So it's a great thing to test. So diversify your ad objectives and test different things, and let them run long enough as well. Don't shut them off too soon. You can also diversify your creatives. It's kind of a no-brainer, but if you do a lot of video, which I think you should be, you can also do images, you can do carousels, you can diversify what you're doing, what types of video you're doing, and ad copy and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you guys are doing that. And again, it's not going to matter that much unless you properly track all the changes you're making and leverage that data to make smarter decisions. And then lastly, secret sauce tip number 3. You guys may have heard this if you've been listening to this podcast very long, but I'm so much of a believer in creating micro content ads that are focused on one specific ad angle, and they go to a micro content landing page that's focused on the exact same ad angle that also gives value on that landing page and differentiates you as well. And not only that, but talks about how that difference is actually beneficial and valuable to your customer or client. That is a game changer. Hardly anybody does this. So that's something that is huge that you can be doing and should be doing. Micro content ads to a micro content landing page that has value and differentiation and describes why that's good for your potential clients or customers. And when I say micro content, I mean this. You probably have some broad ads running, which you still should. We still do broad ads as well. But in addition to the broad ads, I recommend doing ads that talk about one specific thing. Maybe it's just one part of your product or service. Maybe it's one reason why somebody might buy from you. It could be a lot of different things. My favorite example that is easy to understand is if you were a gym or trainer, instead of just doing all ads where you're talking about weight loss and building muscle and 10 other reasons why people go to the gym, you do one just on weight loss, and then you do a different one just on building muscle, etc. And then you can send them to a page that talks about just that one thing for each topic. And then it's easy to retarget because people will show you what's important to them based off of what they consume. And then we can retarget really smartly. We're talking about exactly what they want to hear, and it's very powerful. And we've got a whole system for that, but when you implement that, it can be very powerful. We do that in addition to broad ads and retargeting ads. So to recap, make sure you guys are leveraging a dashboard and making smart decisions based off of data, not hope. Make sure that you're diversifying your ad platforms, ad objectives, your creatives, and things like that, just like you would investments. And then make sure you're leveraging micro content ads and landing pages and copy on those pages and those ads for your success. And those are 3 really important, super secret, secret sauce hacks that we use and love that have worked extremely well for us. So my friends, I hope that was helpful. Episode 217 is in the books. If you enjoy the podcast, which I hope you do, please tell your friends. Please leave a review and rating on the podcast player or provider of your choice. And if you want to get in touch, philgrahamdigital.com or at philgrahamdigital, DM me on Instagram. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you next time. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.